How's it going, DeKalb? I'm Dustin King.
And I'm Anthony Collins, and you are watching Top Shelf Sports. Men's basketball has had another disappointing season this year.
The Huskies had a 5-17 overall record and 3-6 record in conference play before playing Ball State on the 13th. The Huskies were looking to end their 3-game losing streak in a matchup against the Cardinals in the Convo. Early in the first, here's Keith Gray with a layup, putting the Huskies up 4-3. Still early in the first, Anton Christian pops a shot from the three-point line, putting the Huskies up 10-3. 10:23 left in the first half. Juwan Scaife attempts a three from way back and makes it. Heading into the second half, NIU's on a fast break. Trayvon Barker gets the assist to Darrell Bowie, 28-27 Ball State. Abdul Nader makes a late three in the game, but it wasn't enough for the Huskies, who lose 56-52.
The NIU men's basketball team looked to get back on the right track as they took on Western Michigan. The Huskies held the lead going into the first half, but were outscored by 13 in the second half as they fell 66-58 to the Broncos. Axel Bolin led the Huskies with 10 points and 3 rebounds. Shane Whittington posted 15 points for the Broncos.
And the men's team took on Eastern Illinois in a bracket buster game at the Convo. The Panthers led at 2 at halftime and started on the second half with an 8-0 run. Abdul Nader led all Huskies with 17 points and 7 rebounds. Freshman Darrell Bowie added 8 points himself, but Morris Woods is just too good. He finished with 18 points and 6 rebounds as the Panthers go on to win 59-47. NIU takes on Eastern Michigan Wednesday night. And staying with men's basketball, we have a special guest with us today.
That's right, Dustin. Anton Christian joins us today. Thanks for taking some time out of your busy day to come and talk to us.
No problem, fellas. Appreciate you having me.
All right. Well, the team is coming off a pretty tough loss against Eastern Illinois, as you played well early in the game. You guys are you're going to be taking on Western Michigan this Wednesday. How will you look to bounce back in that game? Like, what will you do differently?
Well, we have to come out with more intensity and play more consistent throughout the whole game, not just one half. We got to play defense, get more rebounds, try to get more easy buckets in transition. And if we capitalize on the minor details as far as getting loose balls, taking charges, I don't see us coming down short.
Sounds good.
Okay, Anton, the MAC tournament is just around the corner. Speaking that you're one of the veterans on the team now, what are you going to tell the younger guys to be prepared for what is at stake?
Well, I'm going to keep telling them what I've been telling them throughout the whole season. Just make sure everything off the court is taken care of as far as schoolwork, stay out of trouble. And another thing is getting to the gym, get more shots up, and stay focused. Don't get too high or too low because it's about to get real. Everybody has to be on the same page. Little minor mistakes that we made in the beginning of the season, we can't make the same things because we can't come up short, in the MAC tournament.
Spoken like a true veteran. All right, well, last year you were in the starting lineup. Now you provide more of a spark coming off the bench. How has this changed your play, if at all?
It really doesn't. Like, this year we have more talent. And you know what I mean? And, whatever coach needs for me to do or any of us to do, we just got to, see our roles as they are. You know what I mean? Me being a leader, I got to provide more energy coming off. Because, as a young team, we may lack that sometimes. So as a veteran, coach may see me as a guy to come off the bench and give that spark on the defensive and offensive end. So I embrace it.
That's always important.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's 4 games left in the season. What are you guys going to do to pull it all together to get ready for the MAC tournament?
We got to make sure every practice is like a game. Everybody has to be mentally tuned in at all times during film, during shoot around, you know what I mean? And if we do that, and we should have a, not an easy time, but, a great time to come out on top.
Okay. Well, last year in the MAC tournament, you guys knocked off Western Michigan, which was a pretty big upset. Does this give you any confidence heading into the MAC tournament this year, going in as a lower seed?
Not really. I mean, the thing is, like, we believe we can beat any team, no matter what seed we are. We have the talent. It's just that we have to stay consistent and play harder. The good thing about college basketball, anybody can lose on any given night. Number 1 team, number 2 team, it doesn't matter. Number 368th team. You know what I mean? So if we just come in and do what we have to do, we can come out on top against anyone.
All right, that sounds good. I mean, I'm a believer. All right, well, thanks a lot. We appreciate you stopping by.
Appreciate you too, Anthony and Dustin.
Right. Good luck with the rest of the season, man.
No problem. I appreciate you guys having me here, man.
All right, man. Well, we're going to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to switch over to the women's team, so stay with us.
And welcome back to Top Shelf Sports. Like the men's team this year, the women's basketball team has struggled all season long. The Huskies are just 2-8 in the conference play, but they were on a season-high 2-game winning streak heading into their game against the Falcons.
The NIU women's basketball team recently played host to Bowling Green. We'll pick it up early in the game as Amanda Corral drives the lane and stops for a quick mid-range pull-up. This jumper made it 11-6 in favor of Bowling Green. Later in the first half, Bowling Green's Danielle Havel knocks down a 3 as the Falcons began to pull away. This would lead to a 21-point deficit for the Huskies before the first half came to an end. NIU would keep fighting, however, as Ashley Sneed knocks down the jumper early in the second half. The Huskies battle until the very end, but it wasn't enough as they fell 60-49 to the Falcons.
The Huskies traveled to Toledo to take on the Rockets. NIU couldn't keep up with Toledo's fast pace as they took an embarrassing 72-40 loss. Nama Shafir led the Rockets with 25 points, while Amanda Corral led all Huskies with 12. The team then went on to Indiana to play Ball State. The Huskies competed better in this one, actually having a 3-point lead in the second half. Unfortunately, Ball State outscored NIU to 44-31 in the second and won the game 64-54. Alexis Lindstrom led the Huskies with 15 points.
NIU began the day with a come-from-behind victory over Gardner-Webb, 22-12. Nick Smith was a big winner on Sunday with a 17-6 decision win over Robbie Gold at 133. Andrew Morse also picked up the win. Later in the day, the Huskies would take on Cleveland State and they would beat the Vikings 26-11. The big winner was Parker Setcast, who pinned Corbin Boone early in the second period.
Now on to NIU gymnastics. The Huskies welcomed number 21 Kent State to the Convo. NIU lost 195.8 to 195.35, but the Flores team did score the second most points in school history with 49.2 points.
The NIU baseball team traveled to Lubbock, where they began their 2013 campaign as they took on Texas Tech in their season opener. The Huskies lost by a final score of 8-0 to the Red Raiders. They looked to bounce back against BYU. Despite a 2-for-4 effort from first baseman Jeff Zimmerman, the Huskies fell 5-3 to the Cougars. NIU looked to close out the weekend on a more positive note against Northern Colorado. The Huskies came up short, however, with a final score of 3-2. NIU third baseman Connor Duckhorn finished the game 2-for-4 with 1 run.
NIU started a 4-game stretch against Nevada the following weekend. They opened it with a couple of tough games as they lost 7-3 and 13-0 before finally getting their first win of the season. The Huskies capped off their doubleheader this past Saturday with an impressive 12-4 win. NIU right fielder Landon Tennehagen finished the game 4-for-6 with 2 runs. The team closed out their busy weekend with a 3-1 loss to the Wolfpack, dropping their record to a dismal 1-7.
The NIU softball team recently began their season, and they did so with a winning effort. The Huskies opened up their season with a doubleheader, in which they defeated Illinois State 3-1 and Sam Houston State 4-0. The very next day, they followed up with another doubleheader, where they lost both games to Baylor with final scores of 4-1 and 1-0.
The softball team began their second stretch of games with a win as well, defeated North Florida 4-3. Later that day, the Huskies fell to Providence in a high-scoring game, 13-7. Despite the loss, Amanda Shepard finished the game with 2 hits and 3 RBIs. The Huskies began another doubleheader the next day as they fell to Towson and Connecticut. This would cap off a 3-game losing streak before they went on to Florida Atlantic by a score 7-3, closing out the weekend.
And when we come back, we preview some high school baseball and softball as the Calvin Sycamore start to get their seasons going. Stay tuned. You're watching Top Shelf Sports. All right, we're back. The DeKalb baseball team is coming off of a pretty decent season last year as they finished 18-16-1 and 7-8 in conference play. The Barbs finished second in the conference with 191 runs. The team will be leaning on senior Danny Petrus, who finished last season with a batting average of .313. The team starts the season off against Boylan.
The Barbs softball team is coming off a season where they were hit hard by the injury bug. They're looking on improving their 1-3 record in conference play, which put them in last place in the conference. The Barbs only scored 29 runs in the 2000-2012 of the season, but despite the rough season, both softball and baseball teams are excited for the upcoming season.
I said after 16 years of coaching, you know, you still get nervous come, say, spring training or the first day of practice. So I've been pretty anxious most of the day and a little nervous to get started. But once you get in the, you know, back in the swing of it, it just seems to, you know, roll and go with the flow.
Baseball in Illinois can be difficult sometimes because it's an outside sport, you know, but we're going to be inside probably 2 weeks, you know, so it can be difficult at times, but the fun part is it's such a great game of preparation, of doing the little things over and over and over again. And so when you're inside, that's what you have to concentrate on.
I've been waiting for this for a while now. Just getting back in the swing of things, getting a hit every day in the cage, play some catch, just getting your body ready for the season.
I'm really excited for this year just because it is senior year, and I don't know, it's my last year playing, so I'm excited.
And staying with softball, the DeKalb softball team is getting back to an important piece of their team.
That's right, Anthony. Top Shelf Sport reporter Eli Gain has the story.
The DeKalb softball season is just around the corner, and one player is ready to get back on the diamond just as much as anybody. Junior pitcher Caitlin Kowalski is returning to the mound after missing the second half of last season.
You know, at first she started complaining with a little bit of soreness in her shoulder, swelling of the hand, and then the first time I actually noticed it in a game, and I just went ahead and pulled her, was her arm motion.
It took weeks for Katie and her doctors to figure out what the problem was. But once the doctors at the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota figured out what it was, there was a sigh of relief.
I mean, I was just like nervous, but then once they figured it out, I was like really excited. I mean, I was nervous for the surgery, but I was excited because then it was like kind of an easy fix, you know, like they could fix it, so then I could get back to playing.
Katie developed thoracic outlet syndrome, a rare condition when blood vessels and nerves from the spine pass through a narrow space near the shoulder and collarbone. To fix the issue, doctors had to remove a section of Katie's upper rib to release pressure in that area.
Basically what they did, the rib is considered a muscle, and they're removing a muscle, and they said give it 4 weeks to heal, the incision to heal and all that, and then after that it's basically how are you feeling and your pain tolerance. And Katie's been working ever since then, really slowly just to start increasing what she's been doing as far as throwing and all that.
And now, 8 weeks after successful surgery, Katie is back with her team gearing up for the season. Even though coming back from surgery can be scary, it can also be a time of anticipation.
It's tough to watch her go through it, but it's more exciting to see her go back and pitch and throw. We really enjoy watching her pitch and throw.
It feels so good. Like, it's such a relief to get back out and actually start playing again. Like, it feels so good to be back out.
From DeKalb High School, Eli Gain, Top Shelf Sports.
Great story, Eli. Thanks.
Well, that's it for Top Shelf Sports. We hope you guys had enjoyed our show today. Make sure to join us in 2 weeks for another episode of Top Shelf.
I'm Anthony Collins.
And I'm Dustin King. Take care, DeKalb.